Hey everybody, late night pyramid intel. Okay, tonight I want to talk about the energetic shift and navigating it and keeping yourself in a good place mentally, because we have just popped up quite a bit energetically, and there's more and more information that's going to be coming out, more and more information about the energetics and the truth of our alignment in the universe and things like that. And so since not many people are providing information about it, I on my Facebook page and through my YouTube channel, I'm going to try to pop it out there so that hopefully I can help some people. And we'll just start with this whole energetic shift that we're in the middle of right now. A lot of people are experiencing people from their past suddenly reappearing, and it's happening to everybody. What's that all about? Well, the energetics have shifted. Whether people are aware of what's going on at night, they still can perceive that everything is completely different, and they're really uncomfortable with it because people are really averse to change. And we have had so much change, so many stressful things happening in the middle of the fact that you have to change it all, which makes it pretty uncomfortable and unbearable for people, and things are not shifting back to the way they used to be. And on some level, even subconsciously, people are realizing that it isn't ever going to go back to the way it was. And so this will trigger in people a nostalgia, and they start looking back at things that are familiar and safe. It's a normal human reaction to seek the familiar and the safe. And so the people will be showing up that maybe you haven't seen in 10, 20, 30 years and things like that. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, as we elevate in frequency, I specifically see two types of people. Not everyone's going to fit into this paradigm, but it's just an example. I think most people would agree that there's a huge amount of narcissists and empaths on the planet. More than we had realized for the longest time, but as we go through this whole ascension process in recent years, we have realized this to be true. So the narcissist is going to have a really hard time adjusting to the new frequency because their whole thing is control. They want to control, and you cannot control an ascension process. You cannot control any of the forces of nature, and trying to do so is only going to lead to your own self-destruction, as they're figuring out. And it would be nice if they could come along. We want everyone to come along on the ascension journey, and this hopefully will make everyone a little bit more sympathetic, empathetic toward people that are not that way toward them. It's because something happened to them, a trauma, because the 3D world is pretty traumatic for everyone, some more so than others, and the personality, it fragments and compartmentalizes, and it does it in such a strong, solid way that changing back, pulling out of that compartmentalized, fragmented mind space, it pretty much never happens. In fact, last time I checked, there had never been a mental health professional who has ever successfully rehabilitated someone on that spectrum of narcissism, psychopathy, sociopathy, because they compartmentalize so thoroughly. Now, they can realize that they have an issue, they can realize that they have damaged relationships with other people, and they may choose to make these changes and have some success with it, but they're going to keep sliding back into their own pattern and behavior because no actual changes ever take hold. And you cannot pretend to be something that you're not for extended periods of time. Eventually, there are going to be cracks in your facade. So they will struggle with this as much as they would like to change. And I never say never, that nothing is impossible, because as soon as you say that, somebody will prove you wrong. But the rule is that. And then there's the empath, who is light and vibrating and more free-flowing, which is why they can be victimized so easily, because people can attach to them and suck them dry, and they want that energy because it's light and free-flowing. Now, the light and free-flowing empath is going to be picking up on all of the vibrating higher. They are most likely the ones that are going to be able to go up and up and up on the ascension journey, which means they would be moving away from the vibratory space occupied by the narcissist, where we've been occupying a similar space for the longest time. And this is going to be very distressing to the narcissist, who depends on your energetic supply. Okay. And so you, depending on which side you're on, you're either going to be running after other people right now, trying to attach to them, or you're going to be the empath watching other people run toward you. Now, how you choose to deal with that is completely up to you, but it's going to go down like this. You will have to make a decision, and you can continue to interact in the same way and stay where you are, or you can allow yourself to vibrate away from that old way of being and move on. What you choose to do is up to you. It's a personal decision. But it's a critical point worth mentioning, because if you're serious about your ascension journey, then I'm giving you a heads up, because this will be a trigger, and it's not an easy space for anyone. Even if you are in the ascension journey and you're climbing uphill, it takes a lot of work. Some people are scared or lazy or whatever, and they don't want to do the climb. They'd rather come and just attach to you and suck you dry. But if you allow someone to attach to you, you are probably not going to make it, because you're going to need all the energy for yourself, and you deserve it. I do not recommend letting anyone feed off of you under any circumstances, even on a good day. But it's up to you. It's free will. All depends where you want to go and what you want to do. So when people are coming back, you're going to see that and know that. And then another thing that I've been hearing people say is that they, suddenly feel just weird, kind of off. They feel totally alone and everything. Someone mentioned that they can't feel or hear their guides, and they feel abandoned. Well, you are, kind of, because you're on a different frequency band. If you've been popping up with it, we just had a big pop, so you're in a completely different band. It's going to feel, and everything feels different. It's your central nervous system registering that something completely different is going on, yes. And as far as guides and the etheric realm, people around you, they're going to be different too, because those are sort of teachers and us guardians and escorts, and as you pop into different levels, they are working and living and being at different levels. You popped into a different level. So those familiar things and people and guides that you're used to being around you are no longer around you. You're going to have new ones. You're not alone, but not perhaps registering that you're in a different space, and that perhaps there would be different, entities around you. You might not pick up on that. So, but you're never alone, that. And so you just have to greet the new ones, because they are there. Your other ones are likely gone if you've had that feeling. That's a very astute observation of the person that mentioned it, by the way. So to connect to your new guides, you can ask to do it before you're going to sleep, while you're asleep, however it is that you usually have your communications, or, go out in nature. That's a really big one, because we are, as we go to higher spaces and places, connecting into nature more. We're unplugging from this whole way of being and reconnecting with nature. That's kind of the goal. That's where we're all going to end up in the ascension journey. And so that's a good place to look for your new guides. So someone was talking about children and their DNA and holding their frequencies and stuff, and how a lot of the things that affect our bodies are not affecting them. Illnesses and vaccinations and things like that. And that's probably true, because these things are lower frequency, and they're coming in with more activated light codes. They're on a different frequency band. So when you're in a much higher frequency band, things will bounce off of you. If someone runs after you and they're like, coming at you, whether it's a narcissist or whatever, anything that triggers you, whatever it is, when you're at a lower frequency, you're going to be triggered. You're going to, as someone comes at you aggressively, you are more likely to react aggressively or whatever your old response pattern was. But as you go higher, it sort of like bounces off you, like, what did a piece of lint hit me? Like, whatever, just doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So you'll notice that your whole responses are different. Your whole way of thinking is different. If that's happening to you, then you know that you have effectively reached a new plateau. And it's reflected in your interactions with people that are in the same spot you used to be. If you want to do this, it is a lonely journey. I mean, you literally are moving into a different space. And if it's new for you, if you haven't always been existing in a different space, I, fortunately, unfortunately, have always existed in a space separate from most people. So it's much less painful for me, and it makes me a really great guide because I understand it. I'm still human. I understand where everyone's coming from, but I can help. I can help. So that's what I'm offering. You are never alone, and you have to rearrange yourself as people drop away from you. If they drop away from you, you will find new ones if that's your desire. If you are really outgoing and you enjoy having a lot of people around you, and now suddenly they're falling away because you don't relate to each other anymore, there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with them. There's nothing wrong with you. It's like potato. We're too old to be playing games, and times are crucial to be wasting our time on things that don't interest us, and nobody should. Nobody should. Everyone gets to be where they are, and everyone should be enjoying it as much as possible, as long as they're not hurting anyone else. So, yeah, if your intention is to be around other people, just put that out into the universe that you wish to connect with people that really resonate with you now, where you are now, and attract it to you. Bring that in. And for others, if you, depending on what you wish to get out of this, you may choose to use your time that you have alone to focus on yourself and where you want to go, and learn or work or whatever, or some combination thereof. So I think that's it. We're going to stop there today. You can expect to have changes and things like that going on all the way through, with a peak on August 8th, but I am going to be posting as much as possible. Every day is my goal, unless there's something I have to stop and take care of that I can't get away from. I will be here, okay? So happy portal surfing, and enjoy the ascension process. This is really great. I'll talk to you later. Bye.